Hi guys, it's Mel. Welcome to my channel. This video is a little conversation between myself and Connor from Connor's Library Corner about the first 3 books of the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. If you've been around for a little while, you would know that Connor and I have been buddy reading those first 3 books, and we are going to start buddy reading the Infernal Devices series, also by Cassandra Clare, and then we'll go back to the last 3 books of the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. So we thought it would be fun to have a little bit of a chat and show you what we thought of the books. Connor and I have rather different opinions, so that will be interesting. We're trying to approach this whole concept in a little bit of an odd way, because we filmed our conversation and then we're both going to edit and upload a separate video on our individual channels. I should have said that Connor's channel will definitely be linked below and also in the eye. Go and check him out. He's a fantastic booktuber and a lovely person. So anyway, we'll both be editing in our own way and then doing our own little intro and outro and putting them up on the same day on our separate channels. So we just thought that could be fun, because obviously we're both going to have a different take and a different style of editing. So go and check out what he's done on his channel. Like I said, be linked below and in the eye. And now you can watch my version. So, where do we start? You loved it.
I did.
Let's
I really
start
did.
with that.
I just really thought it was a good story overall. Like I've said, I read them when I read the first 2 when I was in high school.
Oh,
So
I
I've
didn't
kind
realise
of always
that.
had I have definitely read them because I remember reading them, which is why I've got them, because I thought, oh, I liked them because I got them from the school
Right.
library.
Yeah.
So years later, I was just kind of saying, oh, for Christmas, just get me this box set. They're really cheap. I've read them before. They're cool. I like them. And then I started rereading them, and I don't remember any of it. Do not remember a single thing. So, I mean, I know I read them probably in my last year of school, because I remember the third one come out, and we got the third one in our school library.
Yeah.
But it was when I was leaving, so I didn't get to read it. But I didn't remember anything, even when I read it, and I thought, this is weird because this isn't bringing any sort of flashback to me at all.
Funny.
So I went in thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be great. I've read them before. I'll remember it all. I'll get all that nostalgia. And then I went in with no nostalgia. But I just thought it was a fun read. I think I struggled with the chapter lengths, because I know you've said before, when it comes to like chapter lengths, it's quite typical in fantasy to have quite long chapters. So
yeah,
you're probably more accustomed to that than I am, because I don't really do long chapters. So I know when I read the first book, I was reading like 1 chapter a day because it was like 20 or 30 pages. I was like, I need a break after that long chapter. But I did get used to it reading them. And I just thought the story was good.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was reading City of Ashes, I said, there isn't actually much happening here. But for me, that felt okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I started questioning, like, well, why am I okay with no plot? Like, that's weird. But it felt natural. And I don't know how you've been reading it, but I've just read it as the first book happened, and then when I started the second book, they said it had only been like a couple of weeks since the end of the first book, and I thought, well, it's kind of normal. Nothing would happen within those few weeks, really. They probably are just on a bit of a calming down slope, and then it started building up again towards the end. And I've said in all of my things, Cassandra Clare is very good at writing endings. Like the start and middle of the book are just kind of rocky, and then the ending's all high action, and I don't really know why I enjoy them. Because I know it's not the best written. It is not the best written story. The characters are not very well developed. But But I think I just find it easy and fun, and I don't try and go to that deeper level because I know if I did, I wouldn't enjoy it. So I'll just take it as it comes and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And if I just focus on the plot rather than the other stuff, I find that I really, really like the plot because that is my level of fantasy right now.
Yeah.
So that's what it is for me. So I think that's why I like it, because I'm not focusing on the negatives, because I know if I do, I won't like it.
You are allowed just to like it.
It's like you do with a lot of book series you love. You just like, I know
You just
it's
ignore
not
it.
good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ignore that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, as I'm sure most people are aware by now, I didn't like the books very much. With the caveat of, I agree that I like the premise. There are some things that I like about it, but I was the opposite. I couldn't get past some of the less good sides of the writing. Yeah, I didn't hate them, but they're not my most favorite thing, and I think there are a few reasons, and one is definitely some of the writing. I had said this in a video I made recently, which I'm pretty sure I've put up, but I'm going to say it again. I feel like Cassandra Clare got told what a simile was, and she took that to literally mean every time you write a simile, you write, they did this thing and it was like blah 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 blah. And so every description that she writes, or in these first three Mortal Instruments series, every single description that she's written, she's using a simile. No one apparently described a metaphor to her. She's using a simile, and she's literally using like, and I just was, plus it's so frequently as well. So that was really hard for me to go past. And then also, I'm really sorry, everybody watching this video, I don't really like the whole, no, this is going to be a spoiler, I don't really like the whole Jace Clary thing. I don't, it felt really, I kind of knew it was coming, and even what ends up being the situation, like I kind of knew the whole, as soon as they said the relationship, when you find out the relationship, I was like, yeah, but it's going to resolve itself in some fashion so that it's not true. And then what I said would be what it was, and that's fine. Like, it's fine if I guess things, that's not a problem, but I don't know, I just felt like it was too obvious. But
well, I in the first book, when you found out that they were siblings, I was like, whoa, okay. I was like, this is changing everything. Because I thought it would have been really, really good. Like, this is the only way I think she could have done it better, is if they were siblings and she kept on that trail of, okay, now we're just brother-sister.
Yep.
Because obviously I know they got the feelings. I know it's hard to just brush them away.
Yes.
But I thought it would have been really good to have that dynamic change of, it's not a love story anymore. It's siblings are working together now. And I thought if they'd have kept on that, it would have been even better. But I didn't mind. I thought they were kind of cute. I didn't really care about the romance part of it. That being said, if anyone's watched my videos on me reading them for the first time, I do cry a lot when they do cute things. It's just, it wasn't the main plot point for me, so I didn't really care. I was like, okay, it's fine. And then the sibling thing happened, and I was like, right, now I'm interested. And then the second book was about them kind of trying to work their way around their new relationship, and I thought, okay, I'm on board with it. But I did have a prediction in book 2 that they would end up not being siblings after all. And then book 2 finished. I was like, oh.
Oh, maybe not then.
I was wrong. And then book 3, obviously everything came out, and I was like, aha, I was right. But it wasn't convenient because it was very confusing. But I do agree, it was kind of like they were always going to happen. And I just kind of wish they kept it to the original track.
Yeah.
But I have found when it comes to characters and their relationships, I do like Clary. I like her personality. A lot of people despise her, but I really like her personality. Like, she has just kind of been thrown into this world, and she's sarcastic. She doesn't take any crap from people. She's like me, really. She just, if someone annoys her, she'll just call them out on it, and I just really like that because she's different. Obviously, I know it's fantasy, so it will probably happen more in fantasy books, but she's different from the typical like damsel in distress female character that you come to see in a lot of books, and I really liked that. I thought it was good. Especially when you have someone like Jace, who's such a big, strong character, you'd expect her to fall into that role, and instead she really just doesn't. But I have found after reading this third book, their whole relationship and them two as characters, as much as I like them, I care about them a lot less than any other character. Like, I want an entire side story of Alec and Magnus, and I want a story on Simon. I just want them. I want their story. I'm bored of Clary and Jace now. That's well. I thought because this book was meant to be like the end of the trilogy, and then obviously she wrote more later on because she thought, yeah, I could make more money.
Which is clearly true.
Yeah, I do think the story, it'd have been fine if it ended, but there was more to tell.
Yes.
So I'm kind of okay with it. It depends how the story goes, whether she did it for money or the story. Yeah. But I thought with this being the end of the original trilogy, it would have made sense had one of those two died, and then when the story come back, with like City of Fallen Angels, is that the next one? Yeah, City of Fallen Angels. It'd follow the rest of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And I really, just because I love those other characters so much, I want that. And I know Bane has his own like Chronicles book, so I'm really excited to read that at some point. But I love Simon. I love Alec and Bane's relationship, and I love Isabel. So I want their story. I don't really care about the relationship between Clary and Jace now. I want the action from all of them.
Yeah, I like Isabel too. Actually, Magnus is my favorite character. He made a couple of quips in, I don't even remember which book it was, but I think it was the second one. He made a few quips that I was like, yes, you are funny. That's like, and also quite insightful. Yeah, I think I messaged you as at some point when we were reading it to say, oh no, now I have another problem. I don't like Jace or Clary.
Yeah.
I've kind of revised that a little bit upon reflection. I don't dislike Clary, and I do agree with you that she, considering that first of all she's a teenager, which you know is actually quite hard to forget because they do like many of that kind of thing. They do act like they're a lot older, but she is a teenager, and she's been thrown into this massive thing, like you said, and plus her mum is sick and she doesn't know what to do about that, and she apparently has this dad now that she is evil, so it must be a lot. So like I think I was annoyed with her for a lot of her behavior, but now thinking about it, I actually agree that there's a lot of stuff for her that's going on. So some of the like petulant, I won't listen to you, I'll just go and do my own thing, that was kind of annoying me is, well, actually, I don't know if that I would behave any differently. Like that's understandable. There's a lot going on. She's having to try and navigate this whole new world. Plus, she's a teenager, and that's a lot too in and of itself. You know, that would be a lot if she was just hanging out with Simon at home playing computer games. So I've decided I don't dislike Clary, but I don't like Jace, and I think it's because of the part where he's supposed to be the good-looking, lovely, like he's supposed to be that kind of character that just
he's fitting the stereotype.
He just ends up annoying me because he's a stereotype, and it's like, well, of course he's tall and good-looking and blonde and you know, amazing and has all these incredible skills and blah 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 blah. And that whole thing where you get told that a character is really nice constantly, but you never see their actions being nice, that drives me up the wall.
Yeah, and I think I agree with that with Jace. He is kind of falling into the stereotype. He's the stereotypical handsome bad boy. But he is the kind of character, because I don't know whether I've just kind of made this up in my head, but I do see it as he's so rude and obnoxious and cocky on the outside, but he's really sad and stuff on the inside. And you got to see that a lot when it came to his relationship with Valentine and things. But there needs to be some sort of progression of him bringing that out, and there hasn't been that yet.
Yes.
And I kind of get that it fit with the character arc of he thinks he's evil because of what Valentine's done to him, so now he's just playing up to that because why not? He can't escape it. So I'm hoping that in the next few books, now that he knows he's not as evil as he's been brought up to believe he is, we'll start seeing some change. But I do agree that being told how great he is, and we can even see parts of how nice he is when he has like a lot of internal things, and you can hear him say that. But him not showing it just kind of renders it pointless.
Yeah.
You just think, what's the point of being nice if you're never going to be nice? We're not going to like you just because you think nice things.
Yeah. It's that whole show don't tell. Like, don't, as the narrator, tell me that a character's nice and then not show me the character being nice. Yeah. And I agree. There were some moments where you could see that he was supposed to be like, and again, same with Clary. There's a lot going on. Like, you know, poor kid. He's been through a lot. But there are a few moments like when Max dies, and there are moments where you see the softer side of him. But yeah, I just feel like given the size of the books, she had a lot of stuff she could have done. It's almost like she has the potential to be really good, and that's why I'm happy to continue with the Infernal Devices, because I've heard from a lot of different people the Infernal Devices are a lot better and that her writing gets better. I feel like she has the potential to actually be quite good, but at the moment I'm like, she's not really there yet.
Yeah.
But, you know, if her writing improves, then some of those character things are drawn out a little bit more, and the character arcs are given a little bit more weight, and we get to see a bit more. But yeah, given how thick the books are, it's kind of like some of the like, especially the descriptions.
Yeah.
Did we really need 6 paragraphs worth of description about what a city on fire looks like? We could have had one paragraph. We could have had one sentence. We would have understood. You could have spent quite a bit more of that time giving us more internal stuff on Jace and more. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've just said, you've heard from a lot of people that the books, like the writing gets better, the books get better. And I've heard obviously the same things. I've heard so many people tell me you have to read the Infernal Devices because they're really good. But a lot of the positive reviews I've heard for the Infernal Devices especially come from people who hate the Mortal Instruments. And now I'm quite scared that because I really like the Mortal Instruments, I won't like the Infernal Devices.
We could have the exact opposite conversation. We could have the exact same conversation, but opposite end people at the end of those 3. I'll be like, oh, they were great. You'll be like, they were terrible. What was she thinking?
I think that's just what I'm scared of, because everyone that loves this book hates this one. And I'm thinking, well, I love that book. So am I going to love that book more, or am I going to dislike how different it is? Because obviously it's going to be different if everyone's saying it's better. So I'm going to be like,
totally different time. It's like Victorian England. Yeah. Which is actually another reason why I've heard that it's better. And I think a lot of the people I've heard that from prefer that setting. And it's not to say, I was going to say I prefer that setting, but that's not necessarily true. I wouldn't say I prefer Victorian England to modern day New York, but I'm not only do I love fantasy, but I also love historical fiction. So the two together works really well for me. So.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be interesting. I know one of the slight concerns I have, it's not really a big deal, but I'm slightly concerned that we're still going to be in the same world, but we're going to be meeting new characters again.
Yes.
And I'm going to be like, what if I don't like these characters?
What if I don't like them? Yeah.
Or they're not the same people.
But then we go back to Mortal Instruments. So
yes, I'm just excited that we can go back just in case I don't like them. I think I'll really like them. Like everyone, I don't think of, well, I know because the Mortal Instruments has such mixed reviews, either you love it or you hate it, or in your case, you're kind of in the middle. I've not heard negative things about the Infernal Devices yet, so that kind of gives me hope that it's going to be good.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing how it plays out. I'm excited to see it change to England. I love coming up with all my predictions for like the stories, so I hope I can still come up with predictions. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's what all of my vlogs of these reading the Shadowhunter books have been. It's literally just me saying, I predict this, and this. All the way through, I just predict it, and everyone loves my predictions because I always end up being right.
Nice.
So I hope that can continue. I'm trying to come up with predictions of what the next 3 could be about now that the whole Valentine story is over.
Yeah.
I'm like, right, what's coming next?
What's it going to be?
Well, throughout all of the second book, through City of Ashes, I thought Jace is going to become evil and they're going to have to battle Jace. But I don't think that's
yeah.
So now, based on the fact that they didn't find his body, I think Jonathan's not dead and he's going to come back and he's going to be the big villain. So that'll be interesting.
That will be interesting.
But I am scared because the story of like those main people does, up to now, officially end after City of Heavenly Fire, which is book 6, does officially end.
Right, yes.
I'm scared that some of them are going to die.
Because
as much as I love them all, I might feel a bit annoyed if they all make it out alive.
Yeah.
I think at least one of them needs to die.
Yeah.
Like I thought one of them needed to die in this book, but then when Max died, I thought, you know what? You went there a little bit. I'm happy with you for doing that.
Yeah, we'll allow some pain. You have to have some pain.
And then to be fair, she did kill Jace. She just cheated.
That's true.
So I'm like, well, I don't think they can all come out of this alive. No. So I'm just interested to see
which one. Yeah.
If I had to make a prediction now, I would say Luke and Simon.
Because they're slightly more expendable.
Yeah, I think it'd still have the big emotional impact on all the characters, but it's not Clary and Jace.
Yes.
And I think people would be mad because they love Isabel too much.
Yes.
And I think people would be too mad about Alec because they love Bane.
Yes.
So Simon and Luke just kind of make sense.
Yeah. And she's already not killed Jocelyn, so you can't threaten. Yeah. You can't now kill, Yeah.
Well, she's killed Simon like 3 times already, so really that should guarantee him to be safe. But you never know.
That's true. That is true. Oh dear.
Oh, that annoyed me reading that book. I was just reading it like I cried when he died, and then he come back, and I was like, oh, okay. And then he died again. I was like, for Christ's sake. And I'm sure he died again. I even said in the vlog, I was like, really? You've killed him again?
How many times can you kill this?
I was like, why have you brought him back to life just to kill him again?
What is even happening here? Yeah. Oh, funny. All right. Well, I think we have just about said everything, really.
Yeah, I think we have.
All right, guys. So that was my and Connor's conversation the other night about the first 3 books of the Mortal Instruments series, which is City of Bones, City of Ashes, and City of Glass. As you can see, we have quite differing opinions about the books and Cassandra Clare as an author. As you also saw, we're both quite looking forward to the Infernal Devices books, so stay tuned on both our channels for another video when we finish those 3 books, discussing those 3 books. Anyway guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please comment below if you have any thoughts on the way that we edited, the way that we shot, anything at all. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.